Hey loves, it's Brittany Taylor here, and in this video I want to talk about the North Node in Gemini and what it means to have your North Node in Gemini. Okay, so the North Node is the soul's path for this lifetime. It's where your soul is going. It's the qualities that you are meaning to develop in this lifetime on a soul level, okay? And the North Node is always opposite the South Node. Okay, and the South Node is the point of the past, sometimes past lives, if you believe in that, or just like the past in this life. There's a lot of astrologers that say that we don't even fully step into our North Node until after our first Saturn return, which is at like 27 or 28. I don't know if I really believe that though, because I feel like I've already stepped into my North Node and I'm only 23. So, yeah, so the North Node is always opposite the South Node. The South Node is the deeply ingrained habit patterns, okay? But if we stay there, if we stay in only the South Node because it's that point of comfort, it actually becomes a drain. And we really need to balance the two energies. And the sign and the house placement of the North and South Nodes show key areas that we're learning to develop in this lifetime. Okay, so the person with the North Node in Gemini is learning to develop the mind, the logical mind, the rational mind, because the past life tendency or the past tendency is to totally do things based on the fiery enthusiasm of the moment, okay, that impulsiveness. And there is a quality of these people that is just like a wild animal. Like they can't be tamed, they can't be tied down, they can't be reasoned with, they can't stay in one place. They probably can't even hold one train of thought. They're just everywhere all the time, and they're bursting with energy, and they're very active, and they can be very into sports or very Sagittarius-y type things. So these are like the preachers, the teachers, but they can have a tendency to sort of fly off the seat of their pants a little bit too much, and like the day-to-day demands of the world can be just like so boring to them. Like, or like if they're married, they are like the perpetual bachelor. Like they're really, they aren't probably monogamous by nature. I mean, that's a huge generalization. I'm sure some of them are, but there's a certain side of them that's very yeah, like the perpetual bachelor. Like, why be tied down to any one thing? Like, why be tied down to my husband? Why be tied down to my children? What if I need to, move to Hawaii tomorrow? I don't know. I don't want to be tied down to anything. But so there's that, and so these are the real free spirits. The freedom-loving, free-spirited, wild horse people. They love horses. No, I don't know. Maybe they don't, but they could. I mean, South Node in Sagittarius. I'm just thinking they could possibly love horses. Or any type of activity like sport that just, gets the adrenaline going, right? But really what they've come here to do is order that mind around. And it's true, like they've come here with a lot of wisdom and knowledge that they could actually be teaching if they could just like sit still long enough to teach it. So they've come here with a lot of wisdom to share, and part of the soul purpose and the higher path for these people is to, be able to relate to the normal human population for long enough so that they can infuse them with this wisdom that they're born with, okay? Because if they're, coming and going so much that they don't really have enough time to actually, properly relate with someone, they're not going to be of much value to anybody because they're just going to be kind of this flake-ish person, or just like people will just not understand them. And a common complaint for people with this placement is nobody understands me, and it's because they do not allow themselves to be understood. It's not really the other person's fault. It's just you don't stick around in one place long enough to let someone actually understand you. Or if you do stick around long enough in one place to let someone understand you, you're not giving your real self. You're all over the place. It's not that you're not giving your real self. It's just that you don't want to share any of who you actually are. but you want to, keep things like, like keep people at a distance, like you are on like your high horse in a sense, like, and this actually separates people from you. Whereas if you could just relate to people on a one-on-one level, that would ultimately end up being more fulfilling for you. And if you could stay in one place longer, it would also end up being more fulfilling to you as well. So it's really about, like developing the logical mind, like sitting still and reading a book, or learning how to speak, like taking a speaking course, or like taking any type of course, doing some type of learning that involves the actual logical mind. So not just learning through downloading soul downloads, which I'm sure you do as well, which is actually amazing and one of your gifts. But it's about learning the book stuff, you guys. And like, not to sound totally boring, but it's partly about that with this placement. It's coming back to reality. And not that you don't like have to ditch all that you are, obviously. We would never ask you to ditch what's in your soul. But it's about balancing all that's in your soul with your day-to-day life. And so you can actually bring your soul's gifts and challenges back down to reality, so that you can actually help people and teach people and relate to people, and not feel like you're this, gypsy like person who'll never be understood, or will never have a home, right? So it's about coming back to who you are. Okay? So that's my description of the North Node in Gemini. If you liked this video, you can go ahead and hit like. Or if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, I am offering astrology one-on-one mentoring, where we can learn the basics of astrology. Or if you're watching this video, you probably already know the basics of astrology, so we can go deeper into your chart and learn more about your soul purpose through the natal chart. So I'm going to be posting the link to that. And also, I have just created a Jupiter video training. So if you're wanting to learn more about the planet Jupiter in your chart, the link is going to be below. I love you guys. Thanks for